Britain is famous for cities with wide open spaces. That's especially true in the capital city, London. And so what's Mutton doing here? It can only mean one thing: Mutton's on a Cockney odyssey. I'm on Clapham Common at the moment, and this is actually one of London's biggest outdoor spaces. Absolutely huge the place is. But I'm not really here to film parkland and commons in London. We're here for a food review. So today I managed to get a booking at a place that's normally a fish restaurant. So just to hold up the menu here, it's raw treats from start to finish. Cured and tartar of mackerel, oysters, ceviches, you name it. So cheers everybody, this is not one of my eating out on a diet video, although the food itself will be very diet friendly, so just pretend I'm not drinking this stuff. Yeah, that's fine. That's really good. So we have ordered Guacamole, which is guacamole with smoked mackerel, tiger prawns, a selection of oysters, a selection of ceviches, and a Brazilian seafood stew, and some chicken. A light snack for one, don't you? We have some food arriving. So, what do we have here? We have a platter of oysters. A mixture of coat oysters.
Yeah. All right. So with the oysters, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Gilado. 1, 2, 3, 4 Utah, and the rest in the Clair. Passion fruit granita, Riesling mayonnaise sauce. Okay.
Excellent.
Here, the platter, tuna tataki, prawn ceviche, and salmon ceviche. So if you can please start with the tuna, jump to the prawns and finish on the salmon, it will be amazing.
Okay, and should we have the oysters first or the ceviche first? Or
it's totally up to you, but I recommend you maybe the oysters because they are lighter.
Okay.
You're going to feel better the taste of the platter. Okay. Enjoy.
Well, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Mutton has just gone to heaven with all this raw seafood on the table.
Don't worry.
So we have the tiger prawns, and we have macamole, the smoked mackerel guacamole. Just look at that, look at that. And I've started with one of the Gillardeaux because it's one of the nut oysters in France. And I've just put a little bit of shallot vinaigrette on this, as you can see there. As you saw in one of my previous videos, I put chili and all sorts of stuff on some Colchester rock oysters. These oysters are really high quality oysters, so you don't want to mess about with them too much. It might sound odd to describe it as rich, creamy and meaty, but that's exactly what it is. And well deserving of a quick slurp to follow it down.
Oh shit, yeah, it's cold, isn't it?
Look at that bad boy. Tender and flavoursome, dripping in garlic. Why oh why do we not have so many seafood restaurants in the UK? We obviously just don't have a long enough coastline. Now then, when you're eating prawns, and particularly big ones, don't just throw the head away and eat the tip. There's a lot of goodness in there. You're wasting part of the prawn if you don't suck the head out there. Juices, the garlic, butter, the seafood flavours. Don't miss out on them. Don't throw them away. You want to get in there. And if that makes me look like a savage, so be it. Now, one of the small coat oysters. They do remind me a little bit of the Kumamoto oysters you get off the Pacific coast of the US and Japan, I think. Perfection again. Beautiful. Just a tiny portion of the tropical fruit dressing on top of it. And I will add that the oysters are also perfectly shipped. I'm not getting bits in my mouth or anything like that.
I was saying, how do you tell the difference between each oyster? As in, is it just from the shell, or?
Yeah, the size of the shell.
So, you okay?
Can you see here the big
So I've got two
fat
different
shells?
ones, that's for sure.
And
so
you have...
This one's different to this one, for sure.
Yes, the that one will be the Normandy one, and that will be one of the Atlantic ones, either the Fan de Clair or the... Sorry, what?
This is the oyster I prefer.
Okay, those are the Gilardo, which just so happen to be the most expensive.
Got good taste then.
The smaller ones, we've got good.
We don't know much about it, so tastes nice.
But isn't that the point?
Well, is it?
Well, yeah.
Not exactly.
Now, of course, when we were ordering,
Are these all done, so I can stick this back
I
on
said
there?
that 12 would be a little bit on the light side, and everyone said, no, that'll be plenty, but they're all going like that. So, here in front of the camera, we have tuna tataki. Tataki is a Japanese style of cooking, which is often used in fusion cuisine, where it's cooked very, very lightly, so it's just seared round the outside and raw or with a cold centre. This is the best way to cook tuna. If you cook tuna any more than this, you're committing a crime. Now, you can have tataki of pork and beef and other such things, and it's all delicious, but tuna must be served this way. Those of you who watch my Thai video will know very well that raw prawns and mutton do go together like peaches and cream. That was either awful or a religious revelation, given by the look on Richard's face there. Well, I suspect the moment I let go of this, it's going to be subject to VAT and super tax, so I better dig in. So far, I've just tasted the ceviche milk, the onions and the tomato. Main event, the prawn. Some olive oil, pistachio, milk, raw prawn, bit of chilli, needs confiscating by HM customs inspectors, like his Mutton's customs inspector. So if any more of that comes my way, I can assure you that will be an empty shell and a half. So, back in the middle of the table, guacamole. Never heard of this before. Obviously I know what guacamole is. It's tomatoes, mainly avocado, usually a bit of chilli as well and some onion, all pounded together with a pestle and mortar in a stone bowl such as the one we have here. But the difference, of course, is that we have smoked mackerel as well. And as you can see here, it's served on a cracker with sumac, which is a Lebanese spice which is often put on top of grilled meat and salads.
Yeah, it's really good. The best thing they do is the goat.
I love the way they've infused the smokiness and the fish oils into this dish. This is a unique creation. I have never seen this before. And of course all of that deserves a quick slurp.
Probably a serious meal, even for normal guests. Certainly got experience to put on your CV of eating.
Yeah.
Now we have space.
Yeah.
This all of the macaca pork. Chicken and the baby pork.
Okay, so that's the moqueta, I think, a Brazilian moqueca, Brazilian style seafood stew. Always the sort of thing I like. We have chicken. Might a little odd to have maybe chicken in a seafood restaurant, but we wanted a bit of variety. And over there in the corner, and we have, modelled by James, the baby gem grilled with pistachio sauce, which is actually something I'm looking forward to. Just a simple grilled lettuce is not just a simple grilled lettuce at this place. I'm going to have a little taxation and preview of the sauce in the stew, and that looks very thick and rich to me. I'm a big fan of seafood stews, whether it be bouillabaisse, zarzuela de mariscos, or the various Italian stews, or ciappino, the San Francisco tomato style fish stew with Italian spices and chili. Let's give this one a try because I'm not actually sure what it's going to taste like. Well, I really do like that. That is a cross, this sounds a little odd, between bouillabaisse and tom yum. It is seafoody, it's spicy, but it has a thick, rich creaminess to it, almost velvety. And I wish I'd have brought some of my cauliflower rice to have with it. It's that the sauce is that good, but the spiciness really makes it. In my opinion, if you see a shellfish or seafood stew on the menu anywhere, it is something that you should generally go for. They're usually a speciality of the house, something that's a recipe that's been passed down for generations, and something that the ordinary people of the region it's prepared from actually eat a lot of. Now, do you feel like chicken tonight? Yes, we do. As you can see, it has some sort of citrus. I think it's tangerine inside. There has been some raving about the vegetable over there, the baby gem. Feels like it's time to confiscate some because it's going down rather well over there. Well, look at that, we're all nipping in here before it comes over this way. Let's give it a good soak in that pistachio sauce. Our jacket. Oh my. Right, well, I'm just going to have a little bit more of that to confirm my initial assessment of it. Crisp and incredibly lightly cooked. But the pistachio cream, wow, what a good idea that is with baby gem. Not a combination I've seen before, maybe you have. And if you have seen these combinations before, please do leave a comment. I'd like to hear where you found them. If you'll excuse the pun, that's the nut salad, that is. Sadly, the food's all finished. I mean, I could eat more, but I shouldn't eat more and I won't eat more. I'll just continue with my wine, which is another great Sancerre full of minerality and citrus. But I'm going to ask everybody what they all enjoyed, because it shouldn't just be my opinion as to what was good and what was bad. Well, there wasn't anything bad in this meal, but James, who is also dieting and more successfully than I am, but what was your favourite dish there?
They were all very good. I really like the oysters, but I think this was the best lettuce I've ever had, and I've had lettuce quite a lot over my life, so
wow,
high recommendation.
That is saying something. If you're at a place with high quality seafood, it speaks volumes of how good the lettuce was, and I thought the lettuce was exquisite as well, I have to say. And Rowena, what would you? Wow, the lettuce is
Because I've never had one that's been done in that way before.
yes, it was good, yes.
It wasn't just
And Richard, what was your favourite?
The prawn ceviche.
The prawn ceviche, yes, I like that as well. It was a close call between many dishes, but the gelato oysters just about have it for me. Now normally I'd be signing off the video at this point, but we do have at least one person who likes his dessert here, so it's possible that we might be having a super over in this meal. As I predicted, a dessert has arrived, and it is guava cheesecake. That is strictly forbidden for me, so I'm not going to have a spoonful. So luckily Richard knows his dessert, so he can talk us through it. Well, yes indeed, which end? What is on top of there? Some walnuts, is it? Pralines. Ah. So the fork is going through the cream very delicately. Does that get the thumbs up or the thumbs down? Okay, my dessert has just arrived. Well, this really is being savoured for a long time.
Cheesecake is light, a little bit gelatinous, not very much flavour.
Okay.
The top is flavoursome, it is what you'd expect from guava. It's not overpowering. The whole mixture is very good.
Okay, so there we are.
Barley.
So it does sound as if the base has it. The base got the rave review, the topping was gelatinous and what you'd expect, and the creamy middle was normal for a cheesecake. But unless you're actually at a patisserie, I wouldn't judge a restaurant by its desserts, and it sounds as if that's not such a bad one. Now, for the coffee, always an important part of the meal for me. Looks like a lightly roasted coffee. Prefer dark roasted after such a meal, but after seafood it's not too bad. Good, slightly acidic, but I do prefer dark roast, but for a light roasted coffee it's pretty decent. So I'll leave the name of the restaurant, which was St. Clair, where you can also buy seafood to take home if you wish to do so. I'll leave that in the description box. Service was good, food was good, and if you like raw fish or just cooked fish, I recommend you come here. So the food was fresh, healthy, delicious, and it's not very hard to find this place. It's just off Clapham Common. If you like seafood, this is the place for you in South London. Thanks for viewing. I'll see you on the next one.
Don't forget, you can't beat a bit of mutton.